All right, we got a big month report. I will preface this with, hold on. I was probably making a bunch of noise with the mic, so I don't want that to be in there. I'll just start over for a second for YouTube. All right, we obviously have a massive month report. I don't know if it's massive in terms of things or like good information or whatever. But I know that anytime a monthly report comes out, I tend to ignore it. But yesterday, given everything going on with crafting and this and that, I scrolled down to the economy section and looked at it for like 2 seconds and saw something instantly I didn't like, but I had to scroll really far. So there's a lot of stuff here, and we're going to do our best to get through it. We might skim through some sections that aren't usually too impactful, and we'll start out with the first one that usually isn't very impactful, and that's the AI stuff. Upcoming mission content with the team incorporating placeholder script recordings, blah, 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 blah. This allows directors and designers to have better understanding of the intended experience. All right, so like, great. Game dev stuff, not really that important to us. For Alpha 4.7, AI features and tech solve issues causing inclusions after breaching and looked into various bugs. Various crash fixes were implemented. More game dev stuff. On the development side, additional work was done on the Apex Valacar. Now the creature will be limited to moving within its arena. So its arena is no longer the planet. I know we had seen some pretty exciting things around this in previous monthly reports of like, holy, the Apex Valacar is going to be roaming around on the surface of a planet or moon and annihilating us. This is going to be wild. Now it only moves within its arena. What is its arena? Are we really doing another theme park location for this thing? Like, I think the reason we were excited, it was like a sandbox experience, and now it is not. So it'll emerge after X number of seconds. We'll request a despawn if not damaged sufficiently within a set number of seconds. Sounds very theme park. Sounds like shit to me. I don't know what you guys think. Obviously, some theme park stuff is fun. Never focusing on the sandbox is pretty frustrating about this game. The closest thing we got to it is mining, and mining is quite pain at this moment. I'm curious if they say anything in the monthly report about it. For Star Paws, improvements were made to the motive behavior, blah, blah, blah. Okay, game dev stuff. Animation. Why? March saw animation team working on snake and worm type enemies. The only enemies we have, including and creating new behavior animations. I hope they're working on improving the current ones we have and not adding more of them, because we have enough of those, I would say. The facial animation team began progress on February's performance capture shoot. So this includes content for Alpha 4.8's new mission, where players will meet 2 new characters, as well as a news broadcast for Levski. Okay. 2 new characters. Are they just going to be on our MFDs? Or are we actually going to meet them? Probably not. They'll probably be on our MFDs. Character art. Projects for 4.8. Gang outfits. And heavy combat armors. Okay. Ship art. What's this, do we think? I have no idea. Do you think it's the Raylan? Team progress on the Gattac Raylan, preparing for Greybox Gate review. As part of this, team brought some areas of the ship later in the pipeline standards to help set the tone for larger Gattac style spaces. Okay. It is the Raylan. All right. I mean, it does look very alien, right? Gattac has this slate stuff on it, right? So that makes sense. Ooh. The Ironclad. Hell yeah. I like this window. Great Tech UTV, who cares? We're hoping players will have as much fun with this little vehicle as we did making it. We won't, because it has wheels, and everything with wheels just sucks ass in this game. Miss Gold B had its combined Lot 0 final gate review. This was due to some teams coming onto the aspects late, which caused earlier gates to technically not be passed. However, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Ironclad Assault, and Command Module all progress through Lot 0 phases. Again, Lot 0 is the the best looking version of the ship, and then they take it down from there the further we get away with LODs or whatever. With the team starting a full lighting pass and detail pass across all three to unify the visuals. Alongside this, the team returned to the Caterpillar to set up the command module. Okay, so we are probably going to get both, which is pretty cool. What part of the Ironclad is this, though? It's obviously not the command module, but it's very much like looking down. There's a lot of glass. Yeah, this looks like the bridge in the back that looks down on everything. It looks cool. I like it. Several devs moved back on the RSI Galaxy, which we know is coming IAE, right? After a small hiatus for helping other projects out, like other ships in pre-production, they went over the original layout, made some adjustments, both for flow and make use of the ever-growing asset library, all while keeping true to the role and intent of the ship. What's the role and intent of the ship? Like every role, right? Wasn't that the crazy thing with this thing? And that it was going to debut modularity. Remember when they lied to us about that one? That one was fun. And I called them out for it and got called negative, but it was the truth. So I called it. I was right. Of course I was right. How could you possibly be wrong? It's such a huge ship. It was dumb. But anyway, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back for catching them in their stupid bullshit. It's too easy. Anybody can do it. This involved adjusting the front half of the lower deck to be less isolated and prevent it from leading to a dead end. Other areas were also adjusted. I mean, all this stuff until we see it doesn't really matter. 5 unannounced things progressed through March. First successfully passed through its white box, gray box, and is on tracks for Lot 0. The team made great progress on the ship, and it has grown from initially a simple idea into something much more complex. That sounds like a 4.8 ship, given it's already in LOD 0, right? So second approach LOD 0, so another 4.8 ship, or in the period of 4.8. Those are Invictus ships. True. Oh, yeah, they got to release some Invictus ones, 4.8, Invictus, yeah. But they probably released something with 4.8 and then something later in 4.8, or will Invictus just be 4.8? I don't know. So military ships? I don't know. Something much more complex doesn't sound military to me. Military, they've kind of nailed down pretty clearly. It's either got missiles, torpedoes, or guns, or a combination of all of the above in some way, shape, or form. So more complex sounds like something other than a military ship. Oh, yeah, that silly Hammerhead variant. You're right. I always forget about that. The lasers are just a dumb idea at the moment. I think it's a weird one. We'll see how it plays out. Oh, yeah, the refueling ship as well. That's probably the more complex one, maybe. Second approach Lot 0 review with the devs moving through the interior while other teams UI started to work on required updates. The third passed its gray box review and is approaching Lot 0. Team made some minor adjustments to the cockpit to give a player a better view alongside more refined inputs on the control stick. As mentioned in the last month report, the fourth ship had its gray box review, blah, 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 blah. All right. So, yeah, those are all Invictus ships. That's why they're all coming to Lot 0 at the same time, because big ship sale. In North America, this is clearly the Kraken that we're seeing here. They continue with the Drake Kraken. Capital Ship successfully passed its white box review, which is a major milestone, for what will be the largest player flyable ship on release. Trying to think. So this is bigger than the Javelin? Do they mean release of the Kraken? Or do they mean release of 1.0? I don't know. That either means no Javelin or they mean when the Kraken releases. Yeah. So, I don't know. The team then concentrated their efforts on the main hero rooms, such as engineering core traversal routes through the ship and implementing the new bespoke man turrets and weapons. Hero rooms, engineering. I wonder what a hero room is, because to me, engineering is not the hero room of this ship. This ship has to come and be. You think it means to date? Hopefully, yeah, we'll see. How are they going to do the shops in this thing? We'll have to see. Yeah, the hero room is really the landing deck on this thing. That's true. Alongside final support for the release of the Aurora Mark II, an unannounced vehicle continued through gray box phase. Minor adjustments were made to the flow to aid traversal in the rear half of the ship, and additional windows were added throughout. Okay, that ship's nothing really there that we didn't already know. Bunch of ships coming. Galaxy's got to start getting worked on, obviously, but no like real details. But some very cool pictures. Pretty excited about it. Audio, we're proud of our rock cracking sound. It is better than Hathor. I'll say that for sure. Also provided the new Claw Salamanders enemies with a unique language, adding more threat and value to NPC conflict. Audio team, whoever worked on this, that is the like something I've been yelling from the rooftops for a while. And when I come across NPCs, I should know that I'm coming across like those NPCs. I think it's cool. So like when you hear them, you know they're the salamanders. Enemies that don't say the same 5 lines. I mean, I think these guys do say the same 5 lines. We just don't know what they're saying, so we can't tell as much. But yeah, like all the enemies saying the same things. This was really refreshing. A lot more refreshing than I thought it would be, to be honest. Community, we usually skip. So we'll skip that while I scratch my eye because there's some dust that just fell in it. And then we get into the core gameplay. First thing, core gameplay team spent part of March progressing hacking, with the devs polishing items, improving the tutorial, and ensuring the UI is always correctly aligned to the player. Exciting. What will hacking be in this game? What will we use it for? Are we going to hack into ships? Are we going to yeah, all that sort of stuff. And then when Frozander in chat says, not going to lie, that reads like Squadron to me, you're probably right. Why do I get excited about anything? Various improvements were made to weapon handling, such as switch back to the previously held weapon after using a med pen. And now, when equipping a new knife from the ground, the player character will store their currently held weapon or entity unless it can't be stored. Significant work has been done towards crafting, obviously. March tasks included implementing minimum quality requirements for blueprint aspects and the ability to dismantle items that weren't previously crafted. Various additions were implemented too, including the ability to define which blueprints are entitled to a player by default, a HUD notification when a player receives a blueprint, material and quality information to the tractor beam display, and the ability to stack resource containers with the same quality. Can we? Players can now also, we can't unstack them, I guess. Players can now also view owned and unowned blueprints in the crafting UI. I can't say blueprints. Paging support was given for the crafting machine. Okay. Thumbnails were added. I mean, it's just everything that we see. For engineering, devs added collapsing headers to the diagnostics MFD, specific warnings to the notifications panel, and color ranges for damaged components on the engineering screen. Updates were made to the refueling mechanic. These involve several changes to the docking flow, such as allowing any ship to initiate the docking procedure. This means that the refueling ship, such as the Starfarer, can initiate docking and back up to dock with the ship that needs refueling. Auto docking now triggers when 2 ships are close enough. Hopefully that's fairly close. The ships also automatically undock whenever the refueling process is complete to smooth the overall flow. I like that. Progress continued on the command module for Drake, with the team integrating the resource network into the module's handoff procedure, making sure that the host and parasite ship properly connect to the same network. Functionality was also implemented to ensure that the shield faces correctly update when the command module is docked and undocked. This is a big, undertaking, of course. This has to be super complicated. Think, making doors being complicated. This has to be so much worse. The desync we're going to have with this, oh my God. The transport system is now largely feature complete and is going through iteration with design teams for workflow improvements and additional changes to robustness and scalability. March tasks improved the overall various debug tooling for easier bug identification by the developers and QA team. The setup for Area 18 was completed, which will be used for the initial tech preview tests alongside other locations. All I gotta say is, I really hope when I land that I'm able to take an elevator and not a tram if I don't want to. Like, the trams, dude, the amount of running and time, it's so annoying. I don't think that's going to change anything. I guess I should say, at least at stations. At given stations, I really, in Stanton, because in Nix this works and in Pyro this works. So bringing that to Stanton would be really nice to be able to go from your hangar to the refinery. On planets, I get it if they want us to run around the planets, but I don't want to, but I get it if they're going to force us to. The team also addressed major issues that caused doors to open into the void and laid the foundation for self-repair functionality. For example, if a carriage gets into a bad state, the transport system can fully reset the network as needed. Toward the mission system, the team fixed various issues causing rewards to not be correctly attributed or progress for event trackers to be incorrectly calculated. Progress began on implementing Mission V2 functionality into Starchitect, including the ability to dynamically create mission locations without designer intervention, greatly improving the speed of development. Yeah, imagine if on 1,000 locations they had to place missions at them. Be weird. Inventory rework continued too, with the team finalizing the remaining elements and fixing as many bugs as possible. There's still plenty, both from what was found internally and feedback from the PTU. How about you fix the bugs that have been there for 35 years? Like, what the fuck? That one pissed me off so much. Like, I don't actually hate the inventory rework as much. It's growing on me. But the fact that some of the same bugs exist from the previous iteration is mind-numbingly frustrating. Ship hangar servicing had its first playable gate, which was met favorably. The team is now working on preparing it for the content teams. So that is you land in a ship, you can get refueled, rearmed, and stuff like that from a player ship, which is pretty cool. And then core gameplay, the team is preparing to move on to social features. So after all this, it's social feature time, which is cool, but I think we can expect social features to be relatively small. Correct me if I'm wrong. Next one's a new team. Creature content. March saw the formation of a new team. Oh yeah, there you go. It corrected me itself. To focus on the ongoing development of Star Pause features alongside focusing on improvements. With variants of the Valacar have grown, accustomed to their icy environment. March additional design work went towards upcoming creatures while looking ahead to plan additional improvements for existing ones, including mesh and behavior updates and additional variants. All right, economy, the thing that I snuck into and took a look at. March saw the economy team moving on to features for Alpha 4.8, which will bring new item crafting, commodity trading, and item recovery systems to the verse. Did we know item recovery was coming in 4.8? Was that in the roadmap? I can't recall. That's scary. I didn't see that. Okay, so this is new information. All right. I mean, it's time to pray that it's not shit. Nope, none of it's on the roadmap. All right, that's kind of huge. So, good to know. You think Jared hinted at it? Yeah, I think he did. Okay. But regardless, here we go. Don't be shit. Don't be shit. Don't be shit. I feel like, and I don't know what anyone else thinks, I feel like 4.8 will absolutely be coming with a wipe. Because how do you put in item recovery system without starting fresh? I think it totally makes sense to. So I'm going to make the assumption there. I could be totally wrong. Assuming makes us look stupid all the time. But I feel like at least a partial wipe needs to exist. Now, this is a quote. It's important to note the current Alpha 4.7 crafting implementation is transitional, of course. For example, we are being very generous with high-end Cevrilium ore. No, you're not. Nobody's ever even seen it. What are you talking about? That's so crazy. That's so crazy. At the same time, Like Rockbreaker's so easy to do. So, yeah. Our goal is to move away from a credits-only mindset and towards alternate progression systems such as crafting, reputation, and more. Economy team. Again, God, I feel like these guys must hate me so much because it is so easy to rip them apart with the way they write things. I hope they are totally speaking in a way that is just a little bit weird here and they're maybe being misunderstood or whatever. Everything is a credits only economy that they mentioned. Crafting. You craft to make money, right? You might craft to make some of your own stuff, but to me, this sounds like we are making the worst possible MMO imaginable. And that's the experience that we currently have right now, which is I do everything myself. I do everything myself. And if I can't do it myself, I might buy the material from another player, but I also craft it myself. I think they're trying not to. Like, there's all these signs out there with the mission system of grinding to get these things, like that they're trying not to do it, but it's hard to read, like, such as crafting, reputation, and more. Boys, like, I'm crafting to make money, to use that money to like continue snowballing the amount of money that I make crafting. I'm gathering reputation to get the blueprints to craft to make money. I'm doing reputation to get specific items that drop at certain missions to make money. You know, like, it's the credits only will always be the reason. Is something worth doing will always be a UEC per hour calculation. Always. So I hope CIG starts having a credits only mentality, but from the aspect of all these other things. Right? Okay, but why are you making that money? I mean, why do you make money in any video game? Like, it's hopefully it's because you need really good components and good weapons, and there's the potential to lose them or have them get destroyed or whatever while doing like higher end content or anything. But yeah, it's, I think all they're talking about is like, hey, I crafted something for myself, or reputation matters, and or like, hey, we want to go out and gather material. Like, that's what I think that they mean here. I don't want to read too much into it. I think it's pretty simple, but I want to make sure that it's like very, very clear that CIG has dropped the ball incredibly on their credit only economy, like massively. It's a joke. There's endless faucets. No sinks. They've talked about sinks on monthly reports before. Hopefully we see them by the end of the year, like they said. So, like, all of that has to play a role here, a very important role. So anyway, let's keep moving on. Operation Breaker Stations serves a key example of this transition, while it currently offers a high UEC profit margin to encourage players to engage with the new crafting materials. Its true purpose is to function as a resource hub. By paying a buy-in, players trade currency for the convenience of guaranteed high-value material gathering. What a do you know what high-value material gathering is to us? It clearly, you're clueless on that front. Oh, wow. 300 material everywhere I look. Wow, such high value. This allows them to quickly secure the requirements for high-end personal armor and FPS weapon production. Boys, Satiric still has zero quality. Like, you didn't even get that part right. As the economy stabilizes, shop pricing for crafted goods will begin to reflect the quality of materials used. Consequently, the team will keep a close eye on all the mission buy-ins and resource yields to move away from profitable NPC sell loop towards a gear and player-centric economy model. Economic model. In the final state, these locations will be the go-to stops for high-end crafters to convert credits into exact materials they need, prioritizing material acquisition and quality over raw alpha UEC profit. What? As the economy stabilizes, shop pricing for crafted goods will begin to reflect the quality of materials used. Okay. Shop pricing for crafted goods. So if I was to sell it to the NPC, it would reflect a better price. Okay. Consequently, the team will keep a close eye on all the mission buy-ins and resource yields to move away from a profitable NPC sell loop and towards a gear and player-centric economic model. Shop pricing, shop pricing, shop pricing. Bro, I want to play the game, not the NPC. What the hell? That's what they're saying here. Relax. Take your caps down to lowercase letters, because the very next sentence is like, hey, we want to get away from the NPC sell loop. That being said, we want to get away from this. It just sets the price floor by the sound of things, but again, I don't think they should be deciding any of that, but regardless. In the final state, these locations will be the go-to spots for high-end crafters to convert credits into the exact materials they need, prioritizing material acquisition and quality over raw alpha UEC or UEC profit. What? I can read that sentence over and over again and have no fucking clue what these guys are trying to do and what this game is trying to be. It sounds like a bazaar. Sure. But what is the prioritizing material acquisition and quality over raw UEC profit? What does that mean? That's the part that I'm confused by. I know I'm dumb. I know I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, but I play a lot of these games and games like this. And the only thing I can think of is, do they mean that there's so many material types and things you have to gather and quality and so on and so forth that we're going to need to trade with each other in order to be able to craft the things that we want, and therefore we'll have to take a UEC profit hit because we will have to acquire items from other players in order to craft everything that we want. Like, you can't do everything. You can't own the entire means of production in Star Citizen. Is that what they're trying to say? If that's the case, that's a very good thing. Very good thing, of course. So it's just a very confusing way to write it. But it sounds like that to me. The thing is quality over raw UEC profit is the one. Because again, like, you're selling, you're crafting things to sell to people, I would assume, for profit. So, yeah. Like, I don't know. When I play Eve, it's the same thing. I can't do everything. There's only so many hours in the day. And a lot of my hours are spent playing Star Citizen, not Eve. So when I want to make something, I do have to acquire things. Like, I acquired 250,000 of every isotope possible because I want to make fuel blocks, but I need isotopes to do it. But the place that I live only makes nitrogen isotopes. So I need oxygen and hydrogen and all these other ones in order to make fuel blocks. So I have no choice but to buy them from other people who supplied them on the market near me. If that's what they mean, so I'm losing profit because I had to buy about 1 billion credits or 500 million credits worth of these isotopes. If that's what they mean, then yeah, that's awesome. I got no problem with that. Would love to hear that. It's just, would love to hear more about that. I mean, like, given everything that's being written here, I know these guys will probably be afraid to come on camera at this point, but it's probably time to start having a talk with them and hear about what their plans are and what's going on, because they're becoming, as a team, more and more and more impactful and important to the game. And I'm so nervous, right? Yeah, so like the player-centric thing. I'm a little nervous about the gear economy, but obviously, like, what else are we going to do? What else can we have? We don't have skills or anything like that. Game intelligence development, primarily focused on mission system V2. First half of the month, collaborating with mission designers to refine how the system would work in practice and how best to expose scripting tools to designers. Development of the new mission system. Okay. Level design. Nix's social stations, breaker stations. Elsewhere, the team worked towards multiple future deliverables, including tactical strike groups and Siege of Orison rework. When should we expect Siege? Possibly 4.8, right? They also began to prepare a new for a major new location. Gotta be Nix 1, right? Finally, the devs fixed some legacy bugs in Stanton and Pyro while also supporting new technical initiatives, including helping set up level requirements for the transport refactor. Ooh. Mission design. Completed the Nix mission pack. The team also brought back courier missions. Yeah, this is all old tactical stripe groups. We've heard about this multiple times, alongside refueling. With recent changes to ship armor, the team kicked off a major rebalance of ship-based mission combat alongside a design idea to give players information up front on what ships they might encounter so they can choose an appropriate loadout. That is really nice. That's a good, really good addition. Finally, the team are approaching the first playable state of the new Battaglia missions, which include modular mission parts that can be used as standalone missions for other factions. Gotta think these are going to be refueling missions, right? Narrative, tactical strike groups. They crafted storylines for several new engaging missions, one of which sees the return of an old foe. Xenothreat is the only one I could think of. What old foe do we have? Team also prepared for the next capture session in April, which will see story mission script mentioned in the last month's report being recorded. Narrative team also began planning an eventual overhaul of the current item descriptions to accommodate new changes that are coming with future revisions of inventory and fabrication systems. Hell yeah, that's huge. So we're going to start seeing item descriptions change to what those items will craft, which is nice. Finally, narrative continued to work with Starchitect. All right. And add more locations to planet surfaces. Online tech focused heavily on advancing foundation for server meshing. Central part involved the quasi-dynamic server meshing, which intelligently distributes areas of the game world across dedicated servers based on their current load. Team completed the second round of testing for the initial version, resolved a bug where multiple game zones were incorrectly assigned to the same server. They also made the system more efficient by removing a global performance bottleneck that was causing thread contention. On the stability side, several crashes, thread safety issues were all taken care of. So their team also made solid progress on the generation of the next generation of the territory manager, which is responsible for dividing the game universe into distinct regions to be handled by separate servers. Multiple improvements were submitted for review throughout the month. Finally, the team continued ongoing bug work. Okay. Let's see. I usually skim through lots of this. Online service continue to advance the item imprint feature, which is the underlying system that will allow players to truly own items in their ships and on their characters. Additionally, groundwork is also underway to ensure the system queries item ownership in a more robust and efficient way. I'm assuming this is going to be the way that, you do the dead man switch and all that stuff. Like, I own this gun. So I hate all of that. I will forever hate all of this. It makes me so sad that you don't just drop stuff, but we'll see how much durability exists, how much of a role it will play, and how fun crafting will be. I don't at the moment I'm not sure how I feel about it. Team also worked on lazy inventory creation, a behind-the-scenes improvement that makes the game smarter about how it creates inventory records. Finally, technical design was done for regional chats. Okay. R&D. Oh, regional chats. I mean, that's so social stuff is already starting. R&D, ground fog. It's always fog for some reason. Do they do anything else but fog and clouds? Tech art, creatures, interactables, class simulation, and pipeline tools. On the character side, two new named PU characters. So they're really working on them. On armor and weapons, super heavy combat armor animation set is being brought from Squadron 42 across to the Persistent Universe player character, and binocular ADS and zoom state transitions were finalized. For interactables, the team is implementing a flaming torch-held animation. As in, like, this? Like Minecraft? Or like a flaming, like a, like a torch, like we're shooting fire at each other. Basically the opposite of a fire extinguisher, right? Is what I was thinking. Tightening the player interaction cones so usable objects feel precise and correctly aligned. They're also completing food prop tech animation for Nick's location content. Okay. Starcloth CIG's physics-based simulation system saw substantial improvements. Blah, 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 blah. Ongoing pipeline work includes male to female retargeting. Character tool, feather blend. Okay. There's Ceruleum or Rockbreaker. Finally, Great Cut UTV, Miss Call B, received VFX pass and bug fixing. All right, highlights. I mean, highlights gotta be obviously more work on server meshing. Has to always be. I don't know. For me, the highlighting of the items to fit more crafting stuff. I always loved Recco Battaglia and their missions in Nyx back in the day. So good to see her back. Would love to see more and see what's going on there, and I'm sure we will. Gotta mention economy, right? As this, they're saying the right things. Are you capable of doing the right things? We've seen them say the right things for quite a few years now, but the actual action in the game feels very meh and boring. Command module stuff should be pretty cool. Transport, I expect a tech preview very soon now. And a lot of stuff on the ship hangar servicing. It's going to be very cool to refuel in each other's ship hangars and rearm and repair and all that stuff based on, I don't know, having good quality RMC or something. Might be really neat. So those are my highlights. Obviously, there's some ship highlights with the Ironclad and stuff like that as well, but a long month of report, but still a pretty vague one. And I just can't wait to see more of what's coming in 4.8. I can't wait to, honestly, jump in game right now and continue in 4.7 and mining and crafting things. And I just hope what we're mining and crafting matters more. And I hope they gather a lot of feedback from the current experience and make some pretty significant changes because the game needs it really bad.